Hi, I'm Ed Pierce from SpaceCoastDaily.com. I'm here with Donnie Price of Melbourne Beach. What do you think are some of the key issues in the race this year for president?
Well, the key issues, of course, are jobs. But the issues are also health care for everyone. And we have a health care program that's been promised by the other side that they would take it away from us as soon as they got into office, and I think it should be protected.
So what do you think is the deciding factor that led you to come out here so early this morning?
Well, I have absolute support for the president. I think that he is the man for the job, and I think that the country needs him and the world needs him at this time.
We're here with John Paul Alvarez. He's a Democratic candidate for state representative in District 53. What time did you get here today, John?
Oh boy, we got here around 6:30. We got dropped off at by a taxi cab because you couldn't park here.
How will president's chances in the election affect your own personal race?
Well, personally, if Democrats go out to vote, I win my district. So to put it into perspective, in 2008, almost all the Democrats voted. In 2010, 10,000 Democrats in the new district did not vote. That made a difference. That made a difference because at the state level and the federal level, a lot of Republicans got in. So I have a feeling Democrats are energized this time around. They saw the convention and they're going to support Obama in his re-election effort.
How encouraged are you by this turnout today?
I'm very encouraged. 6:30 something a.m. and we have over 1,000 people. It's about 8:15 a.m. now, and I'm assuming at least 2,000 people. Where we can hold up to 3,500 people in the stadium. So I have a feeling a little more people will come in as it gets closer. I'm very excited. This proves that Brevard County Democrats are energized, and independents as well. I've been meeting a lot of independents today.
But before I start, I have a very important announcement that I've got to make. I love you too. The most important thing I have to say is football starts today. So we intend to be finished to get home in time for kickoff. It is so great to be here. You know, we just had our convention in Charlotte. Folks there could not have been more welcoming. Michelle was Michelle. Now, our friends at the Republican convention, they were more than happy to talk about everything that they think is wrong with America. But they didn't have much to say about how to make it right. They want your vote, but they don't have a plan. And that's because they've got the same plan they've had for 30 years. Tax cuts, got a few regulations, and then give some more tax cuts. Tax cuts when times are good. Tax cuts when times are bad. Tax cuts to help you lose a few extra pounds. Tax cuts to improve your love life. I said that at the last event yesterday. Somebody yelled out, "I tried it, it didn't work." Now, listen, I've given tax cuts to folks who need it. 4 years ago, I promised I would cut taxes for middle-class families, and I did. The typical family is paying $3,600 less in federal taxes since I've been president. Let me tell you, Florida, what they are selling, we are not buying. We've been there, we've tried it, it's not working, we're not going back, we're moving forward. That's why I'm running for a second term for President of the United States. So I promise you, our problems can be solved. and our challenges can be met. The path we offer may be harder, but it'll lead to a better place, and I'm asking you to choose that future. First, I've got a plan to export more products and send fewer jobs overseas. We can change our tax code so we stop giving tax breaks to companies that are shipping jobs overseas. Let's reward them for investing in new plants and equipment here in the U.S. and training new workers here in the U.S. and keeping the research and development here in the U.S. and creating jobs right here in the U.S. Making products that we sell around the world stamped with three proud words, made in the USA. That's what we're fighting for. That's the future. Part two, I've got a plan to control more of our own energy. After 30 years of inaction, we raised fuel standards so that by the middle of the next decade, your cars or trucks will go twice as far on a gallon of gas. That will save you money, and it will help the environment. We doubled our use of renewable energy. Thousands of Americans have jobs today building wind turbines and long-lasting batteries and solar panels that are being used right here in Florida to generate energy. I want you guys to know this. Today, the United States of America is less dependent on foreign oil than at any time in nearly 2 decades. Now you've got a choice between a plan that reverses this progress or one that builds on it. You know, unlike my opponent, I'm not going to let oil companies write this country's energy plan, or endanger our coastlines, or collect another $4 billion in corporate welfare from our taxpayers. We've got a better path, where we keep investing in wind and solar, and clean coal technology, and farmers and scientists harness new biofuels to power our cars and our trucks, and where we put construction workers back to work, building factories that waste less energy, retrofitting schools and hospitals and buildings so that they're using less energy, where we develop a 100-year supply of natural gas that's right beneath our feet. And if we choose this path, we can cut our oil imports in half by 2020. And that alone will support 600,000 new jobs in natural gas. We can move forward, but we can't go backwards. That's what the next 4 years is. Part three. I've got a plan to give more Americans the chance to gain the skills they need to compete. Billions of students, including some students at this institution, are paying less today for college because we took on a system that was wasting billions of taxpayer dollars sending it to banks. We said let's send it directly to students, and students are paying less for their college education because of it. No company should have to look for workers in some other country because they couldn't find the workers with the right skills right here in the United States. So we've got to focus on this. Help me recruit 100,000 new math and science teachers and improve early childhood education and give 2 million workers the chance to learn skills at their local community college that will lead directly to a job. And help me work with colleges and universities to cut in half the growth of tuition costs over the next 10 years. We can meet that goal together. We can help the next generation. We can choose that future for America, but I can only do it with you. And I want you to know, Florida, I will never turn Medicare into a voucher. In fact, one report just said that by the end of the next decade, our opponent's plan would mean as much as $16 to $26 billion in new profits for insurance companies. So basically your costs would rise by the thousands so that their profits could rise by the billions. So here's the bottom line. Their voucher plan for Medicare would bankrupt Medicare. Our plan strengthens Medicare. No American should have to spend their golden years at the mercy of insurance companies. They should retire with the dignity and the respect and the care that they have earned. Yes, we will reform and strengthen Medicare for the long haul. We will do it by reducing the cost of health care, not by dumping those costs on the seniors. We're not going to do that. And while we're at it, we're going to keep the promise of Social Security by taking responsible steps to strengthen it, not by turning it over to Wall Street. And by the way, if you're wondering, who is right on this argument about Medicare, but in case some of your friends are wondering, let's put it that way. I mean, keep in mind that the AARP, which knows a little bit about this, they took a look at our plan when we passed Obamacare, and they confirmed that it strengthens Medicare. And when you look at their plan, it's confirmed that over time a voucher system will weaken Medicare, as we know it. Let me tell you, as long as I'm Commander-in-Chief, we will sustain the strongest military the world has ever known. When our troops take off their uniforms, we will serve them as well as they have served us, because nobody's had to fight for a job or a roof over their heads when they come home after serving on behalf of the United States. Disagreements. My opponent says it was tragic for me to end the Iraq War the way I did. I think he's wrong. He won't tell us how he'll end the war in Afghanistan. I have. My opponent wants to spend more money on military programs that our Joint Chiefs don't even want. I'll use that money that we're no longer spending on war to pay down our debt. And to put more people back to work, rebuilding roads and schools and bridges. After a decade of war, we need to do some nation building here tonight. And I tell you, we've got a lot more work to do. We've got more good jobs to create. We've got more good schools to build, more great teachers to hire, more troops to bring home, more veterans to take care of. And if you will make some phone calls for me and knock on some doors with me, talk to your neighbors and your friends about what's at stake, if you'll register to vote and make sure you turn out to vote, then we will finish what we started. We will open the doors of opportunity for all who are willing to work hard to walk through them. We will win Florida. We will win this election. And you and I together will remind the world why the United States of America is the greatest nation on earth. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Hi, I'm here after the president's speech with Brittany Sherman and Timothy Bavasso. What are the issues that matter the most to you?
Definitely education, because without him I wouldn't be able to afford schooling.
What is the most important issue to you? And did the president address that today?
He definitely did address the most important issue to me, and I would definitely say for me personally it would be the financial aid. It's necessary to have financial aid to attend my school, so without it I would be in trouble, and I'm glad that he feels it's important that we get education as well. I would definitely say look into it, but I do feel Obama is definitely the right choice to vote in 2012.
Thank you very much, guys.